Next on the Made to Travel podcast, we've got ghosts, and more ghosts. So let's go find some food.
Here's what you might have missed. We're Colin and Pam, and we moved from Kelowna, BC, Canada, to Penang, Malaysia in July 2022. We've been learning about life here in Malaysia and exploring the region. This podcast is a way for us to share our experiences with you, whether you're interested in learning about living as an expat, or you just want to keep up with what we're up to. Now you're caught up.
As a Canadian living in Penang, there are a lot of things to see and do here that are quite different than what we're used to back home. Right now, we're in the midst of what is known as Ghost Month, the 7th month of the lunar calendar, which this year runs from August 16th to September 14th. And this is when it is believed by Buddhists and Taoists that the gate of the underworld is opened up and the spirits of the dead are let out to roam for the next month. It's not uncommon to see people burning paper money and paper representation of gifts they want to send their relatives who have passed on. There's also food and drink left out for them to enjoy. It seems to me like a kinder, gentler take on Halloween in North America. Here people will go out of their way to keep these wandering spirits happy. This even includes entertainment like plays and operas performed outdoors for them, with special red benches at the front of the audience reserved just for the haunting guests. It's not all about giving gifts and keeping wandering ghosts out of trouble. There are also a number of strong superstitions that people will avoid doing so as not to attract the unwarranted attention of a ghost. Things like going swimming or moving, getting married, going out after dark, or even whistling are just some of the things that are to be avoided by someone who takes Ghost Month seriously. Then there was the Hungry Ghost Festival. This happens right in the middle of Ghost Month, which this year fell on August the 30th. This is supposedly the day when the spirits are at their most restless and up to causing the most trouble. This is also the night when the most ghost money and gifts are burned and sent to the spirits in the afterlife. And of course, fireworks and firecrackers are not uncommon, as the loud noises supposedly help to scare away spirits. Though judging by the frequency of them being let off here all through the year, I think people just really like them.
Nestled in the lush jungles of Perak, Malaysia, lie the ruins of a grand but unfinished castle. This is Kelly's Castle, a structure with a fascinating history and an aura of mystery. The story of Kelly's Castle begins in the early 20th century. William Kelly Smith was a Scottish planter who had grown wealthy from his rubber plantations in Malaya. In 1915, Smith decided to construct a majestic home in the Moorish architectural style as a gift for his wife. He hired Indian convicts and Chinese laborers to build the castle. Construction was started in 1915 and was meant to be completed in 5 years. However, due to some unforeseen financial troubles, the construction dragged on for much longer. Then tragedy struck in 1926 when Smith died at the age of 56 due to pneumonia. After his death, construction on the castle all but halted. Only the exterior and a few rooms were completed. The building was left abandoned and earned the reputation for being haunted over the decades. Today, Kelly's Castle is an eerie ruined structure. Visitors can tour the remaining rooms and corridors and imagine what the grand estate might have looked like if it had been finished. One of the most iconic features of the castle is the elevator that was meant to transport Smith's wheelchair-bound wife from floor to floor. Many legends and ghost stories now surround Kelly's Castle. Some say that Smith's spirit wanders the castle trying to complete it for his wife. Others report hearing voices and sounds coming from empty rooms. There have even been alleged sightings of a ghostly figure of a man dressed in a hat and suit resembling Smith's appearance. Whether you believe the ghost stories or not, Kelly's Castle is undoubtedly a fascinating historical site. The unfinished castle provides a glimpse into the grand ambitions of a wealthy businessman in colonial Malaya. Its decaying walls and aura of mystery have made it one of the most popular tourist destinations in Perak, Malaysia.
Lon's Corner is a place we've had our eye on almost since we arrived in Penang. It always looks so bright and inviting, and it's usually very busy later in the evening. For some reason, even though we thought about it, we just hadn't eaten there yet. Until we were invited to have dinner out with our friends from Kansas, Norm and Rachel. We weren't sure what to expect when we walked in, since there was only one other table occupied at the time, and the menu was mostly in Malay, so we had to rely on Google Translate and a waiter who didn't speak English all that well.
That's Big Attitudes. That's Squid. That's Lala.
Whoever Lala's.
Hari Bakar. That's Shrimp. And that is the same word. And then that's White Rice.
Oh.
Okay, this one's Moderate Attitude.
Are you making
This,
That's what Google says.
I think you're making it.
Google's making a...
Our first couple of attempts to order were met with a reply informing us that what we wanted to order wasn't available yet. It would be available later. So we finally asked the waiter what we could order. I'm still wondering if one of us should have ordered some attitudes, big or moderate. Either would probably have been real interesting. Fortunately, there were pictures and we understood a few Malay words, so we were able to order some food. Though we weren't quite sure exactly what we were going to be getting. Would it be spicy? Would it taste good? All questions you ask when there's a bit of a language issue and when you've had a few experiences with food that left a bad taste in your mouth. But we kept hanging on to the fact that the place is always busy in the evening, so even if the food wasn't exactly to our taste, it would at least be good food, probably. In the end, we didn't need to worry at all. The food was absolutely delicious. Pam and I both had shrimp. Hers was with rice and mine was with noodles. Both were very tasty. Norm had the same dish as me, but instead of shrimp, he had chicken, and Rachel had tom yum soup. So we discovered the food at Lon's Corner is delicious, and the service, even though we had minor difficulties communicating, was really good. They took good care of us. The prices were also very reasonable, in line more with what you would expect to pay at the food stalls instead of at a sit-down restaurant.
Love our content? Hit subscribe and join these toes on our journey of discovery. Leave a comment and share your thoughts. Your feedback helps us create even better videos for you.